Chapter 33. After the Threshold. 2012 came and went without the fireworks most expected. No skies cracking open, no motherships landing on the White House lawn, no end-of-the-world cataclysm. For the mainstream world, it was almost anticlimactic. But for those of us who had been preparing, the shift was unmistakable. The energy had changed, subtly, but powerfully. It was like stepping through an invisible curtain into a world where everything looked the same but felt entirely different. At first, I thought I might be imagining it. Yet the synchronicities didn't fade. They deepened. My dreams were sharper, more prophetic. The meditations I'd been trained to do at Pine Gap now carried me into vast spaces of light and sound. Even ordinary interactions began to feel like coded exchanges. I could sense when someone was carrying an unseen message, even if they didn't know it themselves. One evening, as I sat on the deck of my cottage staring out over the lake, a familiar sensation washed over me. A call, but not from the network's usual cryptic symbols or encoded messages. This one was direct. Return to Nevada. The words weren't spoken aloud, but rose like a command from inside my own consciousness. Within days, arrangements had been made. I didn't even question how or why. There are moments in this work when you don't decide, you just obey. An excuse about some poker series and a couple of plane rides later, I was back in the desert. The red sands and endless sky felt both alien and familiar as the small private jet descended near the Area 51 complex. This time, I wasn't here for routine operations. This time, I felt it was something far more personal. Inside the secure perimeter, the protocols were the same. Badges, retinal scans, escorts who spoke little and revealed less. But I could sense a different energy moving through the corridors, like the air before a thunderstorm. As I was led down a passageway I'd never seen before, the realization hit me. This wasn't just another assignment. This was something else. The room was dimly lit, its walls lined with technology I couldn't name. And then she was there, the dream messenger. Not in a vision, not behind my eyelids, but in the flesh. She appeared exactly as she did in my dreams, radiant, calm, eyes that seemed to hold whole constellations within them. "You've crossed the threshold," she said softly. Her voice was exactly as it had been in my mind, yet now it carried a weight that made the air vibrate. "The old contracts are ending. New ones are beginning." I tried to speak, but the words caught in my throat. She stepped closer. "There is something you must release before moving forward," she said, her gaze steady. "Your relationship." I froze. Of all the things she could have said, that was the last I expected. "Why?" "Because your next phase will place you in situations where no civilian ties can exist," she explained. "Your work will take you into places beyond public record, and those connected to you become vulnerable, both to discovery and to harm. It is not punishment. It is protection. For you and for her." Her words sank deep. I knew she was right. The network had always emphasized secrecy, but this was different. It felt absolute. The life I was living, the quiet routines, the laughter, the sense of normalcy, had been a rare reprieve, a pause in the storm. Now, that storm was calling again. She placed a hand on my shoulder. "You've served well in silence," she said. "Now the real work begins. You must walk the next path alone. We will explain tomorrow." A mix of grief and acceptance swirled within me. The messenger's presence was both comfort and command. Even without knowing what lay ahead, I had to accept that this chapter of my life, of my heart, had to end for my mission to continue. As I left the facility that night, the desert wind carried a strange peace. The world had crossed into a new era, and so had I.